Hello and welcome to episode 70 of Thinking Outside the Pod.
Episode 70, one more than
69.
And two more than 68.
Exactly. Yep. That's true. I can't dispute you on those facts.
Well, you can, but you'd be wrong.
Well, I could debate anything.
Yes. You're like, no, it is three more than 69.
Yep. Exactly. 3 is the sides of a triangle, which is the...
There's one triangle, so there you go.
Which is the best shape.
Yes.
Arguably, no, not really. It is the best shape, I'm saying. Right now.
It's the strongest shape.
Strongest shape, exactly.
You're like, that's actually engineering stuff.
Yep.
Triangles are the strongest.
We're teaching you again.
How do you make something stable? You just make a million triangles.
Yeah,
there you go.
Triangulate it.
I mean, you think I'm lying. No, that's actually true.
No, I know.
Yeah, I am not BSing that.
We did in middle school, already off topic, whatever, that's okay. In middle school, we had like
Topics,
this bridge building
What, the two
program.
picks?
Well, no, it's like a computer
software?
program, and it's a simple thing. It had like 2 anchor points on each side of like a spans or cliffs, 2 cliffs or whatever.
Yeah.
And you had to like make a bridge, and whoever got like the best bridge for how much it cost, because you can buy different materials and stuff, won, and I won. So.
What'd you build it out of?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, like, a lot of people just like got a bridge to work and then submitted it.
Yeah.
I like went in and like fine tuned each
one
of my submissions.
One to work, and then you actually went back and then like, how do I make this more efficient? Sure.
So I actually had like 3 bridges like on the top 5 or top 10 or whatever the thing was, and they were like, everyone else just did 1, but I was like, no, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the best damn bridge.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I won it, and I think I still have the files, but I don't have the program anymore. It was a free program anyway. But yeah, it was just a bunch of triangles.
Yeah. No, I mean that's all you need really. I mean,
yeah. So I'm the best engineer in that middle school class.
And yet you're here.
Exactly. What does that tell you? Dang it! I do not utilize my skills at all. But that's fine.
Nobody ever does.
That's America.
Yeah.
Commentary. That's what we're also. If you're hearing this on the podcast, just know we are streaming on Periscope. I don't know what you can do with that information, but
yeah, a little late now. I mean, I guess on Sundays, whenever we're recording, I guess we'll try it. We'll see what happens the next couple of weeks. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know either. So we'll figure it
out.
out.
Jimmy just pointed a phone at me and said, "All right, I guess we're streaming." So I said, "All right, fine."
Technically, the phone is turned around, so we don't even know if it's going right now.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if we are actually streaming right now, we don't know.
It is plugged into a charger, so at least there's power, but I don't know what's happening.
It's looking at us. That's all we know right now. So
with its unblinking, unrelenting eye.
Oh no
of technology.
Scary.
Big brother.
The phone's gonna destroy us. It's gonna become smart.
It's just like some streamers are hacking into my phone, getting all my information.
I don't know, but I don't think that there's not much they can steal. I don't think.
I don't know. My Facebook password.
Eh.
Which is so important to me.
Oh no! The Facebook you never use. I never use it.
I barely use it. I use it for the podcast. That's really all I use it for.
Yeah.
And like just liking it on my page so it goes to my friends. But that's about it. That's all I do. But okay, back to topics.
Topics? Oh no.
I know the dreaded. We do tangents, not topics.
I know. Oh, we actually have to talk about something now. Oh man.
But kind of a big news thing that kind of happened. Cause I assume it's already happened. It's done, right?
E3. I think it's done this week.
So
If not, it's wrapping up soon. I unfortunately normally this is my ballpark.
You're slacking.
I know I'm really slacking as of late because I've been playing The Witcher and the first one, because the third one came out recently, and I wanted to play the first 2 before I played that, and I got sucked up into it, and I'm having a blast with it. So.
Well, is it like a open world RPG or
kind of
open world ish RPG?
It's a Western style RPG. It's definitely more like your Mass Effects or like your Skyrims, that kind of stuff. But so far the first one's. I'm only in the 2nd chapter. So far, it's been pretty confined. Like story-wise, they're like, you are stuck to this city. You cannot leave the city.
Yeah.
At least as of yet. I mean, later I'll probably end up leaving the city, and it'll probably open up a little bit more. But I don't know. I've never. The last time I tried to play The Witcher, style of game didn't. I just didn't enjoy it. And nowadays I like it a little bit more because I don't mind the. Just talking to random people, figuring out where the hell to go. Yeah. And now, because nowadays it's like I don't mind it so much. I'll talk to everybody.
I think that's a kind of a universal thing with gamers. I think because when you're kids, you just want the Crash Bandicoot just barrel through a mission. But nowadays, same thing for me. Skyrim, I did everything that I possibly could without going through the story.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, hey, random beggar guy over here who has a quest. All right, I'll go and do your quest. Sure.
Or I'll talk to this random non-quest giving person a few times just in case. Maybe
to see what happens.
Maybe if I talk to him 3 times, he'll give me a mission. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
you never know.
I'm gonna search every house and steal everything I can from this village.
See, because what I hate also is when they start adding in like different NPCs will be there at different times of day. So now you're like, oh, now I have to go here like every if I want to find everything, I have to go, all right, now I'm at midnight. I'm like, all right, go walk around. Who's here? Now I'm here at 4 a.m. Who's here at 4 a.m? And you're like, oh, it's a pain in the ass because it's hard to tell. You're like, I don't know if I've missed stuff. You know, it's like I may have missed stuff because I didn't check at random 2:30:01 in the morning and see if there was a guy there.
You go back and you just play the game and they're like, oh, you didn't didn't do this one quest. Oh, you didn't go to that one tree at that one moment in a full moon.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do that? That was obvious.
You say that. There are games that do that.
Yep.
There are lots of games that have very, very specific things. Because I love the quest where they're like, don't open these specific chests in the world. Like, there's no reason to ever think to not open those chests. Because Final Fantasy 12 did that. They get like one of the ultimate weapons. It was you had to very specifically not open. Like I think it was like 6 chests in the game, and it was just arbitrary. Like there was one where it's like there's like I don't know like an area of 12 chests, and you had to open like not 4 of them in there. And it was like really random ass chests.
Did you have any clue to that? It was just
nope.
Oh.
If there was, I had no idea where the hell it was. I had no idea how you're supposed to figure it out. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I'm one who, if I see a chest, I open the damn chest.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Unless I specifically know it's one where if I come back later, there'll be something better in it. Then I will not open the chest. But if I don't, I'm like, I got to see what's in the chest.
Random chest. I want whatever's in there.
Yeah. And then it's, and then when I found that out, it's like when I actually finally played it through and beat it, I was like, okay, I looked it up. I'm like, don't open this one, this one.
Was it just for an achievement or was it an actual game quest?
It wasn't necessarily a quest. It was if you wanted to get, it was a weapon called the Zodiac Spear. And it was a really powerful spear. And like what you had to do is after that, you had to not open it. And then you had to go to like an extremely high level area where you could do it really low level if you just ran past everything, just dodged all the monsters. Because if you didn't, they would kill you at that low level. And then you had to go to a very specific chest and open it, and then there it was. And then you had to run all the way back, which sucked. It was a big pain in the ass, but it was worth it because you're like, hey, now I have one guy with like an ultimate weapon super early in the game, and you just kill everything real easily.
Well, speaking of Final Fantasy, since we
segue.
Yeah, so perfect segue, especially when we call it out. Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Finally getting an actual remake. It's not going to be just an HD update.
What does that mean? Like the Final Fantasy 7 came out.
Yeah.
And now they're remaking it.
Yes, I think they're going to keep it more or less the same story. But it sounds like, from what I saw, it looks like they're going to rebuild a new system. They're going to basically take Final Fantasy VII, I guess like the story, but make it a more modern game. Okay. Which I think is what the right thing to do.
So take the system that like is more current to the Final Fantasy games that they're doing now. What are they at now? Like 12 or?
They're 15.
15. Okay.
Is going to be coming out. Hopefully, I don't remember. They had some E3 stuff. I mean, they've got a demo out. It's, I think, this year, maybe. I don't know. I will buy it because I wanted it since it was Versus 13, like, 4 or 5 years ago. So I've been waiting for this game for like 5 years now. So I'm like, just hurry up and release it so I can play the damn game.
This one, Final Fantasy 7 remake?
15.
Oh, 15. Okay.
Well, 7 remake, I'm like, yes, I'll buy that because 7's kind of a.
Was 7 a good one in the series?
It's
or memorable or something, or why is that one getting remade?
Because at the age of like your average gamer now is probably like what in their 20s to 30s, somewhere in that ballpark.
I would say so. Yeah.
7 came out at the time where everybody was kind of young and stuff like that, and it was the first one that went from 2D to 3D.
Oh, okay.
And like if you look at the graphics nowadays, you're like, they suck compared to what it is now. I mean, like back in the day when it came out, you're like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome. Because it was really weird. Like they had like these really cool like fancy backdrops and stuff like that. And then you looked and then you have like really crappy polygonal character models in front of it behind these really gorgeous backdrops. So it was a really weird style. But back in the day, it was awesome.
Yeah. It was like the PlayStation 1 graphics, like the Tony
PS1.
Hawk. You're like, this is amazing.
Yep.
When it is just polygons. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it was really cool. And then as a kid, unfortunately, like once you get a little bit older, I think I think Final Fantasy VII is overrated. I don't think by any standards it's a bad game. I just think the hype is way too much. I think it's way too much nostalgia crap. Like I'm glad they're remaking it. I'm curious to see if they change the story up and stuff like that, make it a little bit more modern or whatever. I'm curious. I'm interested in it. It's one of those of, I like some of the older ones, like 4 and 6 and stuff like that. Those are probably, I thought their stories were a little bit better. Their characters were, to me, a little bit more likable.
So they were 2D, like the NES versions, like that kind of stuff, or what was
up until 6?
It was
the 2D, and then 7 went 3D style. I mean, it still played like the 2D versions, like they're other than just having like 3D graphics and stuff like that. It still played the same as the old ones. I mean, they of course they updated the system and stuff like that. So you had like the limit breaks, and they had the materia system, that kind of stuff. But
7 was the first one. You're actually
like it used polygons as
third
opposed
person, third person view.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of like it depended on like what area you're in, and you just had like a locked camera and you walk around an area.
Okay.
But it went from sprites to polygons.
Okay.
Is what it did.
Okay.
And it was one of those it's that nostalgia factor.
Like, this is so amazing, but it wasn't that amazing compared to other stuff.
Yeah.
Other games in that series.
I mean, like there's some other games around that time that held up, I think, in my opinion, held up better. I mean, you look at like the original Halo. And that still, I think, for the most part, holds up.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah, especially if you play with your friends and you're just fighting each other.
Because you look at, like, GoldenEye 007, like, that was one of my favorite games growing up. And, you try to play it now, and you're like, I can still play it. I'll still enjoy it. But you're just like, to me, it's hard to play now.
I saw some let's plays of that game. I'm like, oh, my God, is that what we used to play? It was...
Oh, I played the hell out of GoldenEye. I loved that game to death. But it was just, nowadays, you're just like, it's hard to play like that. I mean, I could still do it, but it's just like, I kind of like the current conventions where you have a little bit more control over what you're doing.
Yeah, it's rough going backwards. Has Final Fantasy done that before? Have they remade games, or is this like kind of the first one that
they
they're
have
doing
done?
That with?
Basically, like HD updates and stuff like that. Like, have they rebuilt a game like that?
Like an actual whole system change and everything? Not really.
I mean, I guess if you want to count 10-2 as they didn't really rebuild the system. They did make a sequel. I mean, they kind of took the same system and kind of made a slightly different game. Like, they've done sequels, but have they ever like completely just kind of redid a game? No, not to my knowledge. Okay. No. I mean, I don't know if the side series, I don't know if you count those. I mean, maybe on those, but as the main series, no.
Okay.
Like, they've done.
So it's a big announcement.
Yeah, like it's a really big thing. I mean, and it's something that people have been wanting for a while, because a lot of people just want to just take like Final Fantasy 13 graphics and do Final Fantasy 7. That's what people wanted, but it sounds like they're going the extra distance with it, which I think is smart on them, because you're like, a lot of people are going to buy it. It's like no matter how shitty it is or how good it is,
people are going to buy the Final Fantasy
money
game. Yeah.
Because all the people that are around my age are going to go, all right. Who remember Final Fantasy 7 are going to be like, this is going to be awesome. I just want to see Final Fantasy 7 in HD. That's all I want. That's what a lot of us wanted to see. We're just better graphics. Just make it the same game. Because there's a couple of scenes in the game where, when you think of it, it's like, I don't know if they may take it out, because there's some stuff there. You're just like, there's like a cross-dressing scene and stuff like that, and there's where you're like in the crappy polygonal stuff. You're like, it was fine. But if they and you're like in full 3D, you're like, I'm curious. I hope they keep it in. I think it's going to be awesome if they keep it in. Like,
do you think there'd be backlash if they didn't? Well, I guess whatever little changes they do, there's going to be some backlash.
Yeah, I mean, if they take it out, there's going to be backlash. If they leave it in, there's going to be different backlash. Because it's like, back in the day, I don't think anybody really cared. To me, I was like, oh my God, this is in the game, but I don't think everybody was as sensitive as they are nowadays.
Today,
for some strange reason,
politically correctness
we're
gone
like,
mad.
yeah, I mean, we got to be politically correct, and yet, still racist.
Yeah.
If you watch the news, there's still racism. You keep trying to deny it, but no, it's still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We're not going to go into that. Yeah, that's a different rant altogether.
That's not this podcast. We don't go into those heavier
if
subjects.
we do, we try to make it a special episode, I suppose. We try not to mix it in with other stuff.
Entertainment, that stuff's not. It's just sad. That stuff. Okay.
So all right, moving on.
Other games.
Google, research news, whatever. If you want to figure out what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
So other video games.
I'm most excited. Mass Effect 4.
Okay,
Mass Effect's one of my favorite series.
I still only played the first one. I have two.
That was my favorite. So
one was good. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thoroughly enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
So like I said, with those types of games, I hate how it's just either when you get a choice, it's either help person or kill person. There's like no in between where you're like, I just want to be neutral. You know? You're like, it's either help them or hurt them. That's it. There is no. I don't care about you.
There's extremes, but there's no like varying degrees.
Or when they do have the medium road, it's always it puts you at a disadvantage to go down the neutral road.
Yeah. Okay.
You only get benefits if you either go really positive or really negative. But if you go in the middle, you're like, no, you get
nothing.
You get locked off from all the good stuff. You're like, oh, that's not fair. I'm like, what happens if I don't necessarily want to be super good or super bad? What if I just want to be the I just make the decisions as I go along.
Yeah. Well, that's I see that point. But yeah. Other than that, the story was really good. The second and third ones, they took out a lot of stuff from the first ones that people maybe thought was boring, like the world, whenever you go to a new barren world and you go looking for resources. Yeah. The first one you like drove around
on the rover or whatever.
Yeah, and I didn't mind that. I know a lot of and yes, it was kind of monotonous and boring, but. And then the second one they did like the planet scanning thing, and the third one they even did less. So they took out things that I didn't mind from the first one. They took out grenades, which that's how I play any fighting game. Is I throw so many grenades, as many grenades as I can. All my friends make fun of me because I throw grenades all the time. But they took that out. There was like a grenade gun, but not actual grenades you could throw. And maybe in the third one they brought it back or something. I don't remember. It was so long ago. Yeah. So the fourth one they announced Andromeda. So.
Yeah. So did they say if it was going to be a continuation of Shepard's story, or are they? I mean, I guess no spoilers for 3. I guess
I don't think so. I don't. They didn't say. I think all that was like a teaser trailer, and it was just a guy.
So I saw the trailer, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was like a continuation of Shepard's story. Or somebody else.
I don't think they showed his face.
Okay.
I think they just showed the guy, like the Mass Effect kind of thing, where you're on like a platform and you see like a big planet in front of you, and you're behind them. And
generic, and then they showed some like war footage, blah blah blah. Generic. Generic. Yeah.
Teasers. Trailer stuff.
So yes, if you know what this game already is if you're gonna buy it.
Yeah. So
more of that stuff.
You see like the N7 thing on their thing, so you're like, okay, Mass Effect World, it's a new one, which I think I'm gonna. Well, I think I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm for sure gonna get it.
I mean, eventually,
even if it takes me forever to play or even start, I think I'm gonna get it. Like whenever, as soon as it's available, or days after, whenever I feel like buying it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it pretty soon after it's released. So that's big for me.
I know. Oh man, you're gonna play a video game.
I'm gonna play a video game. Oh man. Uh-oh. And I kind of felt that about Fallout 4.
As Fallout 4, I'm definitely interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna wait to buy it.
Did we talk about it last?
I think we may have brought it up.
I think that announcement was already happening whenever we recorded last week.
I think last week we may have brought it up. I don't think we talked about it. I mean, since we're talking about E3 crap. If we didn't talk about it already, Fallout 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
If we already talked about Fallout 4 is still coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for the new viewers, disregard what we're talking about last week. But that's like I said, it's like I probably said, I don't remember. It's within my wheelhouse. It's what I like.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic. If whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah. That word.
After the apocalypse.
After the apocalypse. You leave the vault and you go do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what Western RPGs are. Is here's big giant world. Here's
a
main storyline, but then here's about 400 million quests just to do shit. You know? Like, what do you want to do? You want to go help random hobos, do stuff, fine, go help random hobos.
You want to kill a lot of people, go do that.
Kill them if
whatever.
you want. Yeah. I mean, nobody's gonna like you, but
there'll be consequences for everything.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be pissed off at you since you killed them.
But go ahead, it's your game.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
So like I said, I think I would like it because I mean Skyrim. Like I didn't play a lot of games before, but then Skyrim came out around the time of like the Mass Effect 3-ish stuff. So I played those games, and I haven't played a lot since. Yeah. So I think a lot of the games that they announced in E3 are going to bring me back into it. I mean, I got an Xbox One for Christmas. Might as well use it. All I've used it really is for a little bit of Destiny, which I haven't gone back to, and Netflix.
Well, like I said earlier, like Witcher, I think that'd be right up your alley. I mean, it's so far I'm enjoying the first one. I mean, it's an old game too.
I like fantasy.
It's extremely fantasy.
So I like the fantasy genre with like the elves and the dwarves, and you were saying all that stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of heavy themes. I mean,
and realistic, as you said, there's like racism.
Yeah, there's race. There's a lot of racism.
Like actual like race, like different racism.
Like they've got like a freedom group that unfortunately, me and them could not come to an agreement, so they ended up wanting to kill me. And of course, me being the hero of the game, had to kill them all. So I'm like, I'm trying to protect this stuff. You guys, I don't know who you are. At the time, I didn't realize the guy who I was protecting stuff for was actually a complete asshole, which if I would have known that, I would have just been like, here, take his stuff. I don't care. He's a jerk anyway, so you can have it. But, yeah, I mean, because it's an interesting game. What I love about The Witcher so far is where I was talking about where I hate the choices where it's either really good or really bad. So far with The Witcher is it's not that. It's you have limited information.
Okay. So
for
it's
the most part. And then so you make a decision based on what little knowledge you have. And then you go back, and then you find out, shit, I helped out a real asshole. I mean, eventually you may end up killing him based on what's going on, or you may end up just kind of just parting ways or whatever. But it's interesting because there is no real good or bad decision. It's like at one point in
it's the best decision you can make with what you know.
With what you know at the time. And then there's times where it's not necessarily, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. It's who's the lesser evil of the two, and you help that person. I mean, it's interesting. It feels more real choices because it's not always just black and white.
Yeah, kill this person or not kill this person.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of that, but it's like you have to stop and think because you're like, it makes you really think. You're like, should I kill this person? Because you're like, is this person a good guy? If I leave, he may have done a bad thing, but if I let him live. What are the possible consequences? Because you're like, will he kill more people? Will he help me in the future? I mean,
and that's just the first one you're playing, right?
Yeah, this is the first one.
So they're on number 3 now. So that whole choice system's gotten even more complex. So yeah, that's cool. I saw Witcher. I've never seen or really heard of Witcher until the third one came out, and Conan O'Brien did a Let's Play on it. It looked interesting. It was funny because I mean Conan O'Brien did funny things and like made fun of everything and was like, I don't want to do that. Why are we leaving the hot girl? I'll go back to the hot girl. I want to keep going that route, and I don't want to do a mission.
Yeah.
And then like at the end, like they have sex on a unicorn or something like that. And he's like, yes, this is the greatest game ever.
No, I mean, there's definitely that, it's like sexuality is actually part of the game too. I mean, like I said, it's really cool because it's one of those they just said a lot of stuff that's normally not in games that's usually uncomfortable for games. They're like, we're going to stick it all in there. We're like, what, sex? Yeah, you can have sex with people if you want. I mean, they don't really show stuff. I mean, like you get like what conquest cards are what they are, which is just like a drawn, it's kind of like a pinup girl type deal thing, and they'll give you that after yeah. Well, because it's like in the story, the main character, he's sterile and immune to disease, so he's like, screw it, I don't care, I can do whatever the hell I want. You're like, it fits with the story because you're like, well, shit, if you're sterile and immune to disease, you're like, hell, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You can have sex with whoever you want, and you'll be all right.
That's funny. I mean, okay, I need to.
It's a very interesting game.
Jump into that one too.
Because like with the same summer sale right now, the first 2 are for like I think like $4 each or something like that.
And that's going on too. Yeah, we definitely talked about that last week. So
this is the last weekend.
Okay.
I think you have until tomorrow, or I guess by the time you guys hear this, it's going to be too late.
Oh.
I guess.
Well, the live stream.
Yeah, the live stream. You got until like I think noon tomorrow. I think until the deals end.
So don't turn off the live stream.
Yeah.
Keep
and
that going.
People who are listening to this, it's too late
Sorry.
now. It was noon today.
Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well. That's if you're interested, you would have already seen it.
Yeah. So be ready. Mark it on your calendar for next Steam sale. Whenever that is. It a set time?
Usually sometime in Christmas.
Okay.
Christmas and usually like June, July time.
Okay.
Is it an exact date? I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is they usually have a Christmas sale and they usually have a summer sale.
Okay.
And then usually like sometimes around like QuakeCon they'll have a Quake deal. It depends on certain events. They may have little smaller sales, but Christmas and summer are the two big ones.
Like subscribe to Steam on stuff.
Like you just look at any video game website. Normally they'll tell you, because like with me, I didn't even realize it was popping up, and then I saw like PayPal was like, hey, get ready for the Steam summer sale. Give us money so you can buy Steam stuff. I was like, oh,
okay.
All right, thank you PayPal for letting me know that it's tomorrow. I had no idea it was going to start. Because it was into like the random middle of the week too. I was like, I thought it would have started on like a Monday or something like that, but it started on like a Thursday or something like that. I was like, that's random. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, well, that's
hey.
so yeah, do that or listen to us. We maybe announced it before it happened. I don't know, maybe not. Who knows? Anything else? Backwards compatibility for Xbox One. That's pretty good.
I think that's good on them. I'm kind of I haven't really looked too into it, so I don't know if it's you just stick in the disc and it goes, or if you have to download like a digital copy. I don't know.
I don't know either. Every game system that didn't do that, I'm always confused about that, because like my first game system was the PlayStation. Yeah. Like my first. I had my brother had an NES and a Genesis and stuff.
Yeah.
But my first one was a PlayStation 1, and then the PlayStation 2 came out, and it was backwards compatible. It was just that was so in my mind. Anytime a new game system comes out, I'm like, it's obviously going to do that same thing. That's just like ingrained in my mind that that's going to happen. And I was just like, it's always weirds me out that it doesn't, but it makes sense, I guess.
Well, because the issue with Sony is like with the 3 is they went with a stupid system for the 3. They made it so essentially like it was a pain in the ass to make it play older games, and then when they went to the 4, because of the different system, it's extremely pain in the ass to put those games on the PlayStation 4, which they found the workaround, which is just do the streaming service. Like they've got the PlayStation Now, so I mean technically you look at it and you're like, Sony has backwards compatibility now. I mean, unfortunately you have to do a subscription based service, which is a big pain in the ass. Like you can't just pull out your old games and stick them in. Like I really wish they would have had a way where you could stick the game in the PlayStation 4, and then it'll go through the PlayStation Now service. If they have it, they'll just let you stream it. I wish they would have done that.
That would be cool. I don't know.
I don't know if that technology or is the technology possible. Yes, like you could totally use the disc to authenticate.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. The issue is you could just make a copy of a Blu-ray or whatever and stick it in there. So I mean, you fight that, but still, I mean, I don't know if somebody wants to go through that much trouble. I guess just let them go through the trouble. I mean, really, that's a big pain in the ass to do. Or it's not that hard.
It's just
I don't know exactly how you do it.
It's more work than maybe like just a random lazy person will do.
Yeah, it's just some random person's not going to spend the amount of time to make a copy of a PlayStation 3 game. I don't think it's I think it's pretty complicated.
PlayStation Now, like you can stream like the older games. Like it's a subscription thing.
I think they have it to where you either just do like you pay. I haven't really looked at it since it. I think it's still in beta. I think I'm not sure if they actually officially released it yet. I don't remember, but I think it was either you set like you go to each individual game and you'd rent it for X amount of time.
Okay.
Which in the long run, it actually ended up being significantly cheaper just to buy the damn game.
Yeah.
So it's like so I'm like I think they kind of missed the point on that where it's like, well, why would I want to pay $40 for 30 hours? When the game costs $10.
Yeah. Just have it forever. Yeah.
I'll just buy it. In the long run, it ends up being cheaper just to buy a PlayStation 3 and just buy the games and to stream them.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you play it for a couple hours and you can finish it, like you can finish it, then it may be worthwhile then. But to me, where it's like eventually I may want to go back and play the game again. To me, it's more valuable to have the game.
Yeah.
Or to even have a digital copy. It's like because. With it now, I mean, you can have digital copies. But unfortunately, the issue with digital copies is if the servers ever go down, you're boned because then your game just disappeared. You're like, oh great, there went my $60 and I can't do shit about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that I'm definitely worried about. But like with Steam, if they said in their end user license or whatever, it says if we ever go down, we will give you, we'll give you a heads up and we will let you make discs, and like I think they'll even give you a disc writing software. So then you just go buy a whole bunch of CDs and then you install all your games onto CDs.
Oh wow.
So I mean they said that's their exit strategy. If their servers are ever going to have to be shut down, they will let you make copies of all your games.
Okay, that's cool.
Which is cool on them.
Yeah.
So you're okay.
Very cool.
I mean, I hope they keep up with that promise if it ever happens. I mean, I don't see them ever going out of business anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh no,
but
I don't think so either.
Who knows?
That's like the future of gaming is like the Steam model, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they started, or they didn't necessarily start the trend, but they were the first. They were like Apple. Like they didn't really start anything new. They were just the ones who popularized it. They're the ones who found out how to market it just right and get it.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when Steam first came out, everybody hated it because everybody's like, "Oh my god, I just want to play my game." Before it used to be, you just put the game in the computer, you spend maybe half hour installing it, and then you play. Well, when Half-Life 2 first came out, it was you put the game in the computer, it installed, then you had to wait for 2 hours for it to go through Steam or I guess in our case, like, it was a mixture of everybody and their mom was trying to get on Steam at the time, and so it ended up taking us I think 2 days to get Half-Life 2 running.
Oh, geez.
It was a ridiculous amount of time, and we're just like,
let us play our game.
We just want to play Half-Life 2. I'm like, me and my dad were like, we just want to play the damn game. We're like, what is this? What is all this internet crap? And we're like, fine, if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. But we're like, we just want to play the damn game.
But they refined it and got it to work.
Yeah, because I only played the first few of the original Steam games, and then when I started hearing, that it started picking up, and how cool digital games and stuff were, because around the time I think Left 4 Dead 2 came out, that's when I think I started kind of realizing, I can just put my credit card into the Steam, and it just goes, hey, now I just have it attached to this cool account, and then I just go, okay, that's a lot easier than having to keep track of a whole bunch of physical computer games. Because I haven't bought a physical game in a long time.
Yeah, no, me neither. I can't even think. Maybe like a Sims game or something. Like as far as a PC game, no, I can't remember.
Yeah, because on the computer, it's like, no, there's really no reason to have a disk drive anymore. I have one just in case because unfortunately, a few things I do have still need CDs. So it's like I have to on my new computer. I was going to try to do it without it, but I'm like, I just got a cheap one because I'm like, I don't really ever use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for console games, no, I prefer physical over digital.
I think so too. I think I don't think I've ever bought. Like I said, I don't game that much, so I don't think I've ever bought a digital console game. Yeah, I don't think.
Because on the 3DS, I'm considering starting to go digital because the price difference is irrelevant. It doesn't cost, because that's the thing with console games, is it doesn't cost any less to buy a virtual game as opposed to a physical game. So there's no, so I mean, unless you don't want to keep up physical space, then it's like there's really no reason. There's no incentive to buy a virtual copy versus a physical copy. Yeah. Or on PCs, you save a lot of money by going through Steam as opposed to buying a physical copy at a store. Yeah. So it's actually extremely worthwhile just to say, forget it, and I'm just going to buy you wait for the Steam sales or whatever, and you just buy it then,
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how I buy games now, at least computer games. I mean, it's like I have not bought a physical game in a while because, like, for Steam Summer Sale, I think I spent like this summer I spent about $50, and I think I got like 8 or 9 games, which is
like one game,
your normal cost of one computer game. So I'm like, I got so many games for the cost of one game. Unfortunately, I'm probably never going to play these games, but I'm like, I may eventually play those games. I've got a bunch of them installed, and I'm just like, I just try to get to them.
If you play one of them, that pays for.
Yeah,
the 8 or whatever.
You just got to hope that I eventually get to them.
If you play one, that's still up.
Because then I go, ooh, Pretty Bird. I'm like, oh no, Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming out, and then it's just another game comes out.
Keep going down on your backlog.
Yeah. So it's like, so that's why I'm having a hard time getting started with video stuff, because I'm like, I've got money that I've invested in other crap, and it's like, I don't have enough time to do them both. So eventually I'll try to figure out some way to balance the two.
Yeah. Well,
life.
It's just what you have to. It's just balancing it.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, we have a bunch of any other E3 stuff.
There's a lot of other games. I mean, look it up if you want. I mean, there's like other. I hate to. Advertise video game sites, but those are going to be your best source for other games.
Exactly.
I mean, like Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm really looking forward to that.
The South Park game looks funny.
New South Park game. Like I still need to play the first one, Stick of Truth. I have it. I just haven't.
There's actually a PlayStation 1 game that was like a bunch of mini games from South Park.
Yeah, they had a first-person shooter. way back in the day, like on the N64. I think it came out for like N64, PlayStation, all that stuff. So I mean, if they've had.
So I had that one. I had that one on PlayStation 1, and it was ridiculous. Like, it was a bunch of mini games. It's like a game show or something like that, from what I remember. So I played that one. I haven't played anything since. So
because what I think it is
so this is an RPG.
Yeah, the Stick of Truth was an RPG, but it was probably from what I've seen with South Park games. Like, I haven't played too many of them, but it seemed like it was the first one that really captured the feel of like an episode, and because it's one of those they did the animation, like the actual game, like how it plays and stuff like that. They did it in Maya, which you know what Maya. Yeah. For those of you who don't know what Maya is, it's an animation software. Yeah, and it's what they use. It's like you can do. I think you can do 3D effects and stuff like that, but they use it for basically like they took their cutouts or whatever that they used to do originally
and just put it on
and they put it into Maya, the software, and then it animates it for them, or they have somebody tweak it and it'll animate. Yeah. So it speeds up the process a lot because now you don't have to sit there and move it every 2 inches. You just have, I guess you'd probably just have like limbs like your normal editing software. Yeah, like you have a skeleton or something like that, and then you can animate it. But they actually made the game in Maya
with that. Okay,
cool. And then of course they had some other software that programmed all the events and stuff, but they did the actual animation in Maya. So it
looked like the show.
So yeah, so essentially you are playing an episode. I mean, it is literally
that's true, yeah.
the show. I mean, and they just they had, I think BioWare did it, and they're usually really good at coming up with crazy ass stories and stuff like that. So you take the guys from South Park, mix it with BioWare, who's usually really good at those types of games, and you get an interesting little.
And what was it? Well received?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it was really well received. Like I said, it was probably, I think, one of the reasons that it got so well received is they're like, feels like I'm playing a freaking episode of South Park. You're nice. Like, and at times they're like, they probably went, I think they crossed the line a little bit. They did some extremely distasteful stuff, but it's South Park.
If it was a tame, if it was a tame, just run of the mill game, you would have been like, what is this? I don't want to. Yeah, it wouldn't have been as good. The Fractured Butthole. That's the name of the new one. That's funny. The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it's a sequel to the Stick of Truth. I don't know what it is. It may be a completely different game.
I think it's like superheroes, from what I read about it.
Who knows? I mean, if they, I hope they keep it. At least, now with the Stick of Truth, I mean, they at least have to keep it to a similar style. If they do it like they do the animation in Maya, I think it may turn out to be a cool game. Who knows?
Yeah, so a bunch of games like that we can talk about. Real quick, you saw Jurassic World.
Yes, I did. Yeah, we did want to talk about that.
Complete 180.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, so
we may rant about stuff in the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, I hate to say it, stop watching the podcast. I think at this point, we're just going to wrap up after we talk about this.
Yeah, I think so too.
So if you stop now, you won't be missing too much.
Well, it's definitely going to be spoilers. We usually tend not to spoil movies that are still in theaters, but it's happening now, so
we're telling you, we're warning you.
So don't get mad at us.
Yeah, we it's not like we just started talking about it. We said spoiler alert now, so if it gets spoiled, that's on you, not on us.
Yeah, so exactly. Be mad at yourselves.
Yes, because we told you. So warning, whatever. There you go.
So what did you think?
I was extremely underwhelmed.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I didn't think it was a great movie either.
Okay.
So, I mean, was it a Jurassic Park movie? Yes.
Did you view it? That's the thing. That whenever people say they don't like the summer blockbuster movie, did you view it through a summer blockbuster lens?
I looked at it as a new Jurassic Park film.
Okay.
Like I went
with the series.
Yeah, but I was hoping something. I was like, okay, I was hoping for weird kind of sci-fi Jurassic, Park-esque story. Okay. I was hoping for something, little like. To me, it just felt like, unlike the very first movie where they like explained the park, they explained what was going on. They just kind of like, you already know what happened. Yeah. So we just kind of were like, all right, we're just going to show lots of dinosaurs. Like the humans are just kind of here. And, there's really not much story. And the few story elements they had, obviously, it's extremely obvious that they left it open for more movies.
Yeah. And
it is extremely obvious.
I think Chris Pratt has already signed up for sequels. So it's happening.
I think we talked about it earlier. It sounds like they're going to do another 2 movies or something like that. So it's extremely obvious they left some extremely obvious loose ends for that.
Yeah, they didn't resolve everything. Yeah, so.
Which really bugged me because you're just like, well, it's obvious. So you're like that was kind of the more interesting thing with the movie, and you just kind of let it fizzle out in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just kind of weird because you're just like. They just randomly made a hodgepodge of a dinosaur, but for confidential reasons, we can't tell you what it is. You're like, that's kind of important because it's kind of killing people here. We kind of need to know what the hell it is so we can figure out how to stop the damn thing.
Yeah, I could see some of those, but I did like it. I enjoyed the movie. It was a good. I thought it was a good movie. Well, whenever I look at like summer blockbuster movies, I don't really go into it critiquing story because it's. But Jurassic Park, I kind of see your point where there is story, there should be story in it, and I could see that maybe this new one didn't, but I see it more as like a visual, just fun.
Yeah, like
so
I said,
that's what I
didn't say it was a terrible movie. It's it's one of those of, I guess I went in with a few expectations and they just weren't met. It's kind of weird because I'm not exactly sure what this, I'm not sure, is it supposed to be a reboot? What exactly it's supposed to be, and it does. Because it didn't feel rebooty enough. If it's supposed to be a full-blown reboot, it didn't feel like it was a reboot movie to me because they didn't explain. It almost felt like it was just kind of like I guess a continuation.
It was, I think so.
Where they expected you to
just
already know what the hell's going on. And also kind of like in the general world of sense, it's like, how many times do freaking dinosaurs have to get out and kill a whole bunch of people before they stop and go, this is probably not the best of ideas?
And,
how many people have to die? Because they had after we kind of we talked about like 2 and 3 where we didn't really remember it. I guess second one, like they even had freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex in like New York or something like that.
Yeah, they tried to take the dinosaurs off the island or something.
Yeah, and you look at that and you're like, do they not stop to think like this is probably not the best of ideas?
Yeah, and they didn't really, other than time passed, and they're like, we're not going to do that stuff we did last time, but
it happens the exact same way. You're like, oh, guess what? Random dinosaur tricks human, because human's stupid, and they go, oh crap, we screwed up. Our defense system, what's going to mess with our defense system? Us. Yeah, we're the idiots. We're the ones who are like, hey, we have a perfect defense system. Yeah, we're going to screw it up.
So essentially the plot of the movie, well, the story of the movie, and this is going to go into the spoilers, but
spoiler.
I'm trying to understand it. The park wanted a new attraction. Attendance was going down, so they're like, let's genetically create a new dinosaur, like a new dinosaur. They had that, the scientist from the first one, and I don't know if he was in the second or third one. For sure the first one. We're like, hey, you doctor, make us a new dinosaur, at least a new dinosaur. And then he, ulterior motive was like, hey, other guy, I'm gonna create a super killer monster that maybe we can militarize. Was that what he was doing, like behind the shadows? So that's why he put like the chameleon and was it like a tree frog, raptor,
and then probably like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something like that. I mean, there's stuff.
Yeah, they made it bigger than a Tyrannosaurus, so they probably put some of that into it. And there was talks, maybe human DNA. Because they had opposable fingers.
I guess they
didn't say that at all, but that was rumored to be a plot from the very beginning. Whenever this movie was just a rumor,
okay.
So and they didn't say it in the movie, but they did have workable hands. So
that's interesting.
And intelligence.
Later,
and stuff,
I'll have to take a look at it, see if maybe there are little nods to that.
And there was like concept art where it was like more dinosaur human hybrids, like you could see like it looked
if they
like
go into that, I'm like, I wonder if they're just kind of going off their own, just like, we're just gonna make random shit now. It's like, screw the books or whatever.
So I think that was like maybe a rumor, or maybe a really like a first thought, but then they went away from it.
I'm glad, because that would have been kind of weird, you're like, eh.
So they did that, and so they made these dinosaurs and they put them in like a pen and kept them separated from everything, and they're kind of weird dinosaurs. They don't know what they are. One of them killed the
sibling? They said it was a sibling.
So I think it like killed its brother or something like that. So the sister killed whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, the one killed the other one that they had. They had two of them.
and they didn't know all that was put into it because it was, I don't know, corporate secret or whatever.
Some random BS. Reason. They said it's confidential. It's like, well, what do you mean it's confidential? This thing is out and killing people. We kind of need to know what the hell it is.
Exactly. So they did that, confined it, and it grew up smart and started to.
Because probably for of course, more spoilers, like the raptor in it, definitely, there.
Yeah. So they
like that ended up
and that was kind of a big reveal whenever they found out it was raptor, because so it gets out of its pen through a series of misdirection or whatever happened.
Human stupidity. We'll leave it at that. There we go.
Exactly. So because it had tree frog things, tree frogs can regulate their body heat, so it fooled the thermal sensors.
Which makes you go, how does it know that there's thermal sensors? That kind of, I started to think of that. It's like, I guess it can hide, but why would it think to use that? I mean, I guess because it can, but it's like.
Yeah, so there was some of the things like that. Like, yes, it's smart, but still, it can't be that smart.
Yeah, how can it can't, how can it understand? I mean, I can definitely see how going invisible would make it. But how can it think to regulate its heat and go invisible?
I mean, other than it just knows it can do that. Like, it figured that out. And they're like, this is in its mind, it's like, this is a defense mechanism. I'm just going to do it. And it just so happened they used thermal sensors to track the dinosaurs, whatever. And then it had a really good memory, so it cut out like its little. Yeah, the little chip that's tracking, and it could have killed it, like it could have shocked it or something, or stunned it. So it dug that out because it remembered when it was a baby. So that was kind of a weird thing. So another kind of maybe human thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like memories. I don't know. We don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I agree with that. It gets out, and then blah, blah, blah thing. They try to stop it, but they can't.
Well, no, it wasn't necessarily that they couldn't stop it. It's just when they sent more spoilers, the initial group, like, hey, we're going to give you, like, basically, like, tasers and stuff.
Oh, yeah, because they didn't want to kill it because they put a lot of money into it.
Yeah, but they're like, it's a freaking killing machine, but we're going to
killing everything.
Sticks and say, all right, good luck, guys.
Yeah, it's like killing fields of brontosaurus, like, for sport.
And of course, the lady who runs the park is like, oh, yeah, no, this is okay. You're like, there's a friggin' giant killer monster thing running around, and you think this is okay? Chris Pratt, wherever he's like, guys, we kind of need to, I don't know, kill this thing.
And that's and I really liked Chris Pratt's character because at every point he was like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah, he was he was the one sane person who's like, "We kind of need to kill this thing. It's kind of gonna kill everybody. Yeah. It's dangerous. We probably need to stop this. But blow it to hell."
So he was like the mind of the audience. It's like whenever like they're talking about like the dinosaur, and he's like, "Why are you making new dinosaurs? Dinosaurs are enough. That's cool."
Yeah.
So it was like the audience kind of.
Sure.
His character was cool. I liked.
I mean, he was probably one of the better things in the movie because you're like, he was the most like rationale person in the movie, and you're like, he's like the one person where you're like, I want him to survive.
Yeah.
I want everybody else to die, but him, I'm okay. Because you're like the main female character. You're like, why are you here?
And also, that was the family element. Like,
I guess
that was they threw it in there.
But she tries to act all tough. It's like, also one thing that I kind of noticed, it was something stupid that I noticed. She had freaking high heels on the entire time.
And it's been...
How the hell did you get through all that, like all the swamp, all that stuff, in friggin' high heels?
Yeah, I mean, and she's a park administrator. Essentially, that's her job.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard is the character, the actress's name. So she's like a park administrator, a park manager. Yeah. It probably told us the title, but I don't remember her title. So she oversaw everything.
Yeah.
I would think that owning a park required a lot of like walking, so I would assume she would have on more comfortable shoes. And I guess the boss was coming.
Business aspect. I mean, there was reasons for her to be wearing high heels at that time. But do you think at some point she'd probably, I don't know, take them off?
Yeah.
Or lose them or something? But
she had them
after all that, through like a whole scene with some raptors and stuff like that, and you're like, she's still in freaking high heels. You're like the entire time. You're like, why are you running around in high heels? At some point, you'd think I should probably take these off.
Yeah. So.
It was just some stupid stuff like that.
There was
like she was an awkward character. She kept telling like Chris Pratt, like, you're not in control. It's like, well, you're not in control either, bitch. I mean, if you haven't noticed, there's a friggin' dinosaur out and running around. Obviously, you're not in control.
Yeah. So
and that's like you're telling the one person who actually knows what the hell to do in this situation. You're telling them, hey, shut the hell up. It's like, come on, it's like, what are you doing?
And then so it gets out. Their attempts don't work. So through more circumstances, Chris Pratt is like a
dinosaur tamer or handler, basically. Like a zoologist, but with dinosaurs. Essentially what he is.
He's been doing this one
exercise
experiment thing to see if you can train raptors or something, test their intelligence, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he has these.
Ideally, they wanted to it was one of those of probably on from him and the other guy that's with him. I don't remember what the other guy's name was, but they wanted to they just wanted to see if they can basically domesticate raptors.
Mm-hmm. And ulterior motive.
Ulterior motive was they wanted to weaponize raptors because they're like, if we can control the raptors, then we can tell them, okay, go kill guy.
Yeah, go.
And it was also a lot of the themes of where they're like, are dinosaurs, do they have rights and stuff like that? Where of course about 99% of the characters are like, they're just friggin' animals. Yeah. It's like anything else. I mean, of course, they'll kill us. I mean, you're like, why are we trying to domesticate something where if they get really, it's like dogs. I mean, as nice as they are, they want to hurt you, they're going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Now you have a thing that's infinitely bigger than you.
Yeah. So,
and obviously they keep getting out because we're too stupid to not, just leave them. If we got them in a cage, friggin' leave it.
Yeah.
Don't open the cage. Don't go in the cage with it.
You think this cage is enough? Make it better than that.
Yeah.
Just in case.
How many times do they have to get out? I mean, obviously, in friggin', the first one, a friggin' cliff won't stop a friggin' Tyrannosaurus Rex from flying out. So, I mean, if that doesn't work, then I don't know what the hell will.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things like that. Like, come on. But whenever I see movies blockbuster movies like that, or summer blockbuster action movies, I turn off those parts. My overly critical parts of my brain. So I just smile and I'm just like,
I did for the movie, like I said, I enjoyed it, but then going back and looking at it, I'm like, there's still, it was a pretty disappointing movie.
How do you think of the finale? Because things happen. It's raptors.
I thought it was really
T-Rex against the Indominus Rex.
When you're like the T-Rex and the Raptor are like, we're buddies now. We're gonna team up to fight the new thing. What?
I didn't get that either because T-Rexes are solo fighters, Raptors are group mentality, but it's always saying the Indominus Rex is so much smarter, meaning the other animals are dumber. Maybe Raptors are smarter, but I don't think they're even smart enough to team up with different bad dinosaur, in their mind a predator.
Well, no, but I mean, what was actually pretty cool was they did have times where it looked like when the Tyrannosaurus Rex got knocked down close to the humans, it looked like it was trying to attack the humans. Even. I mean, or I don't know if it was just like a random oh crap, I'm going down and just my mouth closes or whatever. But it looked like it may have been trying to attack the humans. Which, if that were the case, that would make it a little bit more believable.
I don't remember seeing that, but
I mean, it looked like there were some scenes that looked like it got close to grabbing the humans.
The scene where, I guess whenever she because they're like the raptors were fighting and they're like, this isn't enough, so we need more teeth. The little boy says. Yeah. So she goes and lets out a T-Rex. Yeah. With the flare. Call back to the first one with the flare.
One thing that made me kind of stop and kind of go, what the hell, is why didn't the Tyrannosaurus Rex stop, eat her, and then go after the flare? It just kind of passed her up. Yeah. And you're like,
that's what I didn't get there. I was like, there's no, I mean, he sensed bigger danger, but this is like nothing. It's like a twig to him. He can just,
the flare.
He just ignored her.
I mean, it's kind of weird. Yeah, you're like, wait a second.
That I didn't get. And the team up with the raptors, it's cool, all out dinosaur fight, but
there's a lot of weird things. Like, why when she opened the pen, why did the Tyrannosaurus Rex just automatically be there? It's like, was it just waiting for the door to be open? It's kind of weird. You're like, wait, does it always stand at the door? I was like, that's kind of confusing. You think it would be off in its pen or whatever somewhere else, and it'd take a while for it to get there. But no, of course, in movie fashion, they open the door,
reveal,
it's flare, and hey, there it is, right there. You're like, oh, it just was magically waiting for us. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hey, magic.
But the finale. So, I mean, forgiving that.
Mosasaurus Rex. Or the Mosasaur.
Yeah.
It just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, so that was the spoilers. This is all spoilers, but that's the finale. So they corner him into the
water.
Near the water thing that you saw in the beginning of the movie and in the trailers, like the big big alligator-looking
Mosasaurus, I think is what it's called. Yeah,
and
it's a big giant. It's like a huge ass alligator. Is what it is.
Yeah, so it jumped out of the water and got it.
Yeah, it brought it down and I guess drowned it. Ate it. I don't know what.
Yeah. It well, who knows? Maybe they had some fish DNA in there too, so maybe he could survive underwater. Who knows?
Who knows? That'd be stupid. It grows wings and starts flying. You're like, oh come on.
Yeah, we put bat DNA in it as well. Who knows? All this kind of stuff. But no, I think it got eaten.
Let's hope. I mean, if it comes back in the second one, you're like, oh come on,
that's
this is
ridiculous.
stupid now. Yeah. This is stupid.
Yeah. So if they wanted to bring back the dinosaur, maybe they say, oh, we had backup thing because they left it open because the bad scientist guy got away, right?
Yeah,
with the samples
with InGen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's more that they may have some human. I'm hoping they have some human on human conflict.
Yes. So and like for the finale, I didn't see it coming. I completely forgot about that dinosaur. So when it popped out, I was like, "Oh, geez, whoa!"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that's right, that guy's sitting there." I didn't realize that's when they broke down the wall and stuff. I didn't realize. Oh, that's I saw water. I was like, "Oh, I didn't think. Oh, that's the pen." Okay, I didn't realize it was right there.
I didn't really get the layout of it, but I mean, you did see the stadium seats in the back, so you kind of, if you were paying attention, you could have saw it. Like where it was happening, but I think people around me did in the theater because they were like, "Oh," like, and I'm like, "What are they like? They're still fighting. What's happening?" And then crap, then
popped out. And I was like, "Oh," you're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and then you're like, "How did he kind of? Well, maybe he can kind of see like alligators sometimes do that."
Well, sure. I mean, I bet with all the noise that was going on, it probably was like, "There's something up there. I'm just gonna chill out until something gets close to the water, and then I'm gonna go whatever." Because if it was the T-Rex right there, it'd probably eat the T-Rex.
Yeah, it just happened to be the bad. And then, but
if they wanted to spin it where it's like it knew it was the bad dinosaur and it wanted to help its friends, like oh come
there's
on.
like a first person view of him, and he was like looking at the T-Rex and looking at the bad one, and then like deciding to bite that one. That would have been ridiculous.
But
like,
oh, come on.
It was just the closest thing to the water, so believable.
Yeah.
But then the raptors and the T-Rex just walked away from each other.
Yeah, they looked at each other and they're like,
"We did good.
Battle well fought, my friend." And
Comrade.
They walked off. And you're like, what? You're like, why the T-Rex does not eat the raptor? So obviously the T-Rex is hungry. And now you look at it and you're like, these animals are good. They're going to starve.
Yeah.
You're like, well, everything's already dead. I don't know. The T-Rex and the raptor may live for a while because they're like, there's a bunch of carcasses all over the place.
Buffet.
You're like, there's a bunch of Brosauruses just over there that they have access to now.
So that kind of threw me. I'm like, but it was the bad one is dead. So movie resolved, but
I guess
left open, completely left open. You got people still there, right? Did Chris Pratt? I don't know what happened. I don't remember the ending.
I think it's they obviously got off the island eventually. Yeah. I mean, they didn't really show them getting off the island. Mm-hmm. They didn't really show what happened. They're just like, battle fought.
The kids got reunited with their mom.
Yeah.
Where did that happen? Did it happen at the island? Or did
I don't think
airport?
It was on the island. I think it was in like
maybe some holding cell. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that happened.
Like they had all it was a bunch of like medical area or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. And that was the end, and then, like you said, the other bad people got off the island with the stuff. So
that happened before the big fight broke out.
Yeah, so they were gone. And the island still exists, and there's dinosaurs on it, so definitely going to be more. So
it's probably also one of the coolest parts that I thought of the movie was they still had the original building.
I did love the callbacks.
That was really cool, and they had like the old Jeeps and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the mural of the thing in the the cafeteria that you saw in the first one. I don't remember.
I was like your phone.
Oh, my phone made a noise.
I was like, "What the hell was that?"
Live stream might be dead. I don't know, but that's fine. Whatever. And the callbacks. Yes, the when dinosaurs ruled the world banner that was in the first one.
Yep.
They use it as a torch or whatever, and then the night vision goggles, you saw those in the Jeeps.
Oh, what was funny is thinking of the torch thing my mom kind of pointed out. She's like, when their matches have been completely soaked? And I was like, you know what? I'm like, maybe. I don't know.
And where did they get matches? Why did he have matches?
He may have just had it on him beforehand. But
he's a teenager, kid, right? Did he smoke at some point during the movie?
I don't think so.
whatever.
I don't know. There's a lot of really weird, convenient. Oh, hey, we magically have the thing, and oh, hey, we'll just forget the fact that we jumped in a friggin' lake. Okay.
Yeah. So video might be going out. Sorry, future video watchers.
I think it's already gone out at this point. If it's blinking.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Either that, or it's running out soon.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see. That's fine. Yes, convenient things. Oh, and remember that time when we rebuilt that one car?
This magically we know how to rebuild a car.
Yeah, like the skills that action movie characters have conveniently.
Yeah, this is just like
that trope always existed, but
of course.
But I liked it, and I would recommend it to people.
Yeah, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a terrible movie. It just I was just disappointed.
Yeah.
I wanted more out of it.
There's a lot of turn off your brain moments, and there's a lot of story that could have been there and
it just
wasn't. But yeah, if you look at it through a film lens, yes, definitely wanting, but fun. I thought it was a really fun movie. The jump scares and the action was good, and the visuals were amazing. CGI and
I
stuff.
could definitely tell it was a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, to me, one of the better Jurassic Park movies.
The first one definitely was.
It hit every mark. It had lots of cool story, lots of establishment. Like, they definitely were like...
They thought about stuff.
Because they started with like the archaeological, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we found out how to recreate dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And you're like,
we need you
cool.
to analyze the park. There was reasons for things happening, and viewers never saw anything like that. This is our fourth movie that people have seen stuff, so they tried to go above and beyond with weird things, but
they just made it too actiony in my viewpoint. It wasn't there wasn't enough suspense, and then it turned into like Transformers at the end, where you're just like randomly, Tyrannosaurus and Raptor team up, and now they're friends and they attack the bad guy.
And I can see that, like a lot of visual, no heart. Like the first one had. The first one had a lot of heart. There's reasons for things.
There's good visuals too. I mean, it was a really cool.
Yeah, it was like the first big movie that used like really good CGI or something. Or
I think they used a mixture of animatronics, didn't they?
Yeah,
I thought they did. I thought they had a big giant T-Rex.
They built a big T-Rex. I forgot they named it something regular. So I forgot what they called it, Phil or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, who knows? You could look it up.
Wikipedia that. But yeah, so we're going on over an hour. So
all right, so we probably should start wrapping up. I guess our Jurassic Park talk went longer than we expected.
But other things happen. We'll maybe talk about them next week or something. But as always, new episodes every Monday. ThinkingOutsideThePod.com. You can find all of our social media links: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I put a couple more videos up there, so I'm getting.
I will eventually get to. I have one episode that I have it on my computer. I have a project. I just need to start sticking effects on it. Like I've got the video cleaned up, so it should look fine after I add stuff to it.
Yeah. So I'm getting to that point where that video can be released. So not really.
Yeah, okay. So I actually have to start working on it.
Not a rush. It's not a rush, but it's getting to the point where you step in. But that's fine. But yeah, that's on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. But that's really about it. Real quick, I guess before I'm gonna grab my camera and see what's happening with this live stream. Just see what's happening.
Is it still going, or did it die a while ago?
I guess it's still going.
Is
it
still going? Now it's probably just looking at the table.
Yeah, it's just at the table right now, but it's zero viewers.
Oh.
But I'm going to go ahead and stop that, and we'll see if there's some type of analytics, but I'll figure it out. Total viewers 10.
All right. Yeah. Hey, that's 10 more than I expected.
10 viewers. I mean, we had, and there's some people, like, it has their names and stuff. Okay, 10 viewers. Well, if you were the 10 viewers, thank you.
I guess.
But then our Meerkat one got like 90 viewers. So we might just stick with the 90 viewers one, Meerkat.
Yeah.
But or we'll see. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll have two phones doing both. Or not.
This is getting way more complicated than it needs to be.
We need 8 phones, multiple angles,
Matrix style
10 different accounts. Perfect. All
right, so we'll play with that later. Who knows? We just haven't done our research yet.
Exactly. This is all experimenting. The main thing is the podcast and the videos and stuff for right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's episode 70 of Thinking Outside the Pod.
All right, later, guys.